What's going on, everybody? I'm Susu from Hard Work Media, and I got a chance to talk to Just Ray. That's J-S-T-R-A-Y. Ray came in here, was DJing with Santiago Perp, and they were in the studio room here to my right, and they were smoking, or they were rolling up a blunt to smoke, and we were just jamming, listening to music, and a song came on. And I was like, yo, who the fuck is that? To Perp. He's like, that's her. I was like, what? That's great. Who are you? And me and Ray got to know each other, and she's an amazing human being. I said, man, you gotta come back and talk to me. And she did, right away. And that's the kind of person that when I see them, because you can recognize that. You recognize when someone has the potential to be great. Very creative, very personable, kind, intelligent. You know that shit when you see it. And I saw it right away, and I said, Ray, come back and have a conversation with me. Now, I don't like to shut the fuck up, so conversations I have can get long, so I'll do some editing to make it more presentable here. But the point is, you got to know this person. The song Iris, fantastic song. I just literally downloaded the song. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, it's everywhere. iHeartRadio, it's everywhere. So you need to go there, and you need to listen to this. That R&B soul that hits you deep, and that's what I loved about it. It was just a change of pace. It was something very tasteful, something I can enjoy, something that was thoughtful, and so I fell in love with it. And so let's, without further ado, talk to Ray. So what's your name?
So my name is Ray.
And where are you from, Ray?
I was born in Central America, Panama.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Panama?
Yeah.
Okay, when did you come here?
I've been out here since I was 5, so I'm pretty much American. My friends always tell me to stop saying that shit, but bitch, I'm not from here.
No, I know, right. Because your blood is not necessarily from here.
Right.
When did you get in music? When did you start to decide, you know what, I love this shit, I want to make music? Was it always, like when you were a kid, or was there something that drove you when you came to America? Like, I want to do this.
So music has always been a big thing in my family since I was younger. But I didn't really start getting into creating music on my own until I was about... What age are you at when you're in like middle school, like early high school?
You're like 11, 12.
Yeah, like 11, 12. I mean, I'm not one of these, like, because some people have been doing this shit since they're like 5 or 6. Like, I've grown up around music all my life and just creating and singing. But I didn't really start getting serious about it myself until I was like 11 or 12. Yeah.
And you also DJ.
Yeah, I do. That is a newly acquired skill, though. Literally, hasn't even been a year. So, very grateful for all
I love your hair. So when you started doing this with your hair, what makes you decide that you're going to have this image that's going to be exactly what you want? Because this is for like a lot of young people, because people figure out who they are. But some people decide like who they want to be and become that. When do you decide, this is me, I want this look, I want this vibe? Like, do you just grow into it over time?
It's a process, trial and error. I've had many different forms in my life thus far, and I think I'm not even done,
I love that, many different forms.
Yeah, ever growing, and I try everything, and I really just don't give a shit. So I think that's important.
So when you say Perp, you're talking about Santiago Perp.
Of course.
And I love this kid. He was actually going to come today, but he forgot it was Valentine's Day. And I was like, I know.
Yeah, I was just about to say, him and I were supposed to meet up for lunch, but I think he also forgot it was Valentine's Day, and so did I, because I just...
Yeah, you just did.
Yeah, you just did.
I know, you just forget shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I met you for the first time, you were right here in this room, and I have video, which I'll be playing right here as people see. And when I heard your song, I was like, holy shit, at first I didn't even know it was you. Even though you said you were about to play a song that you did, because remember I said the quality of it was so top-notch too.
Yeah.
And I remember when I hear that from someone, this is the way I think about it. The person's taking the time and they're investing money, because you don't get top-notch quality. You don't get that kind of stuff by just going fly-by-night. Let me just do $50 1-hour session. You have a plan, you go in, you get someone to mix that bitch properly, and I told you, whoever mixed this thing did a beautiful job, because it sounds open and I loved it. And is that the song Iris?
Yes.
That's Iris.
Yeah. So Max Foreman, he is...
Go ahead, I'm just going to stop this real quick. Yeah.
Max Foreman, which is basically my main engineer, he's at Dojo Sounds. Shout out to them, by the way.
Dojo Sounds?
Yeah.
D-O-G-O,
Yep.
D-O-J-O, yeah.
D-O-J-O. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they're in Ybor, right above the bricks. Just honestly one of the best studios in Tampa, in my personal opinion. Just great vibes, great homey energy. And when it comes to just like that industry standard sound that you're
Mhm.
looking for, they're just really exactly where, you know what I'm saying?
I own a studio. We're here right now, and I heard that. I was like, beautiful. So they're really good,
Yeah,
for sure.
thank you. And I've worked with him in the past with some other music, and actually, like I said, I just met him through mutual friends, and it was just cool. Like him and I just pretty much clicked from the start. And oh, of course, who can forget about my boy Bo? He's a really good friend of mine, but also one of my producers,
Mhm.
and he's actually the one that pretty much got me going there. Like it was like he gave me a beat to a song that I'll show you after the video, which I'm not dropping yet, but basically it's just a phenomenal song. It's called In My Ways. And long story short, we recorded it there with Max, and it was just like ever since we did it that day, that song, it's just never been the same in regards to like what I expect. I have to sound like that. So if I have to keep using the same formula and going back to Max, that's what I'll do. So
I think that's great advice for anyone. Like, when you're starting out, if you can find, because you always have an idea, and you're just going with the flow until someone plays your stuff back, and you go, oh shit, that's my sound. As soon as you get that, keep that. If you can maintain that relationship with those people, keep it, because not everyone can reproduce that perfectly.
Absolutely.
And like you said, it's like a formula.
Yeah.
You find it. It can be just the way they compress your vocals or take some of the highs off.
Right.
They just set the mic
it's
right.
all very important. It's all very important.
So important.
Yeah, and the more you get into your music, and that's another thing too, for those of you who are trying to get started, or, who may think, oh, well, I don't like the way I sound. Just, if you don't like the way you sound, then maybe try to listen to someone that you may want to, emulate in some way, and talk to your engineer about it. Try to see what it is that they can do. And if not, just try somewhere else. That doesn't mean that you can't work with them or keep that, because obviously there's something that they're giving you if you're continuing to work with them. I work with several different producers, and I have now the only thing is I do have like 2 main engineers for the most part. I'm very picky about that. But when it comes to actually creating, a lot of times you just need really a beat. So, if you surround yourself with producers or people that play music or anything like that, that way you're constantly ever growing and ever working, you can find your sound. But you can't always find your sound if you're only ever recording sessions to record songs that, that you want to drop or whatever have you. It just takes more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You always have to be working. So sometimes the pressure of being in a booth and recording and hearing yourself back to back, like, it's very strenuous. So that's why sometimes I'd rather just, sit and write or listen to something out loud. Like it's happened too at B-Rides. Like they'll be making beats, and sometimes I won't even hop on. I'll just write something. Yeah. And for me, that's enough. You know what I mean? So
you got your creative juices
knowing yourself,
you're doing your thing. Yeah. Kind of figuring out what you would do with something rather than just saying, oh, I should make it mine. It's just, what would I do with it? And that kind of expands your horizons.
How does it make you feel?
Right.
Very important.
And I like that you said emulation. Emulation is not the same as imitation. No. It's imitation would be you going, that person, I would be like them. Emulation is like, wow, I like the way that felt. I like the way they did that. I want to implement that in the way I do music, the way I create stuff. So emulation is not imitation. And I think that's how all of us, we fall in love with something, and we start kind of doing that too. I mean, it's literally how you walk as a child. You have to watch someone, you're gonna, I was laughing yesterday because my oldest son started to walk so young, and I told him, I said, don't go bragging. I didn't have any other kids when you were born. I used to hold his fingers like this, and he would just be walking around the whole house, So he walked very young. But it kind of is the same thing with creative stuff. Like when you want to create, you find something that kind of you can attach to for a bit to get an idea of who you are, and then you be you. Very strongly be you in your own way, whatever that is.
And don't be afraid to work with other people. I find often that you have, artists that will, I only work alone, or like they would just rather, because they want to get that that acknowledgement when, a song is heard or anything, like, oh, I did this all by myself. And it's not bad, but I feel like sometimes you can shoot yourself in the foot. Like I work, very closely with, my close friend group, Jayla and Chris. I am Dochi. I don't know if you know who that is. But
no, I don't. But I'm gonna find out now.
Yeah, follow her now. She's amazing.
I am Dochi.
I am Dochi. Fire. And then Chris, he's basically, we're all best friends, and we work very closely together in the studio. And I'm not saying that you have to go get friends to work, but don't be afraid to work, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable around people, because I've grown so much just in working with them in the studio, because it's not like we'll just go in there and we'll do our thing.
Mm-hmm.
We just vibe it out and we do whatever and try all things, and then we focus on writing a song. But it's not even like that, you know, because it's you have to have fun. Like I got out of that for a while, and there was a point to where, you know, like I was telling you, I was like, when I was gonna quit, call myself quitting, I don't know what the fuck I was talking about, but I came to that point to where I'm like, I've realized I'm not having fun anymore. I'm just pressuring myself about sounding a certain way. And if you just step out of your comfort zone and work with other people again, like you used to, and just get back into that, then it'll be fine. And just like that, it happened. You know what I mean? So I'm very grateful for all of them. I love you, all of you, everyone that's involved ever, anyone that's ever believed in me. I always appreciate you.
That's cool. You have to do that. One of the things that's so funny is that, like, you're out here saying you're so confident it's guaranteed, right? Mm-hmm. But you also say, but you can't just totally believe in yourself alone. You got to be. So it's like, yes, have that. Like, the pursuit of the dream is on your shoulders. There's no doubt about that. That's all you. You can't fuck that up.
It takes a village to raise a child.
But right, exactly.
And the child is the music.
I know. Now they're like, why are they talking about kids so much?
Right.
But it's true though, because you are an evolving artist. You are somebody who's going to become the best you can be at some point, and then what happens is that's who you want to display to the world. It's just like a child growing up becoming an adult. So if somebody gets the idea, well, I'm gonna do this shit, it's all me, I'm the greatest. Well, yeah, that's good for building confidence, but building relationships you're gonna absolutely need, that's not necessarily the best idea. Yours is to say, giving someone a chance to say, hey, let's try that on this part. Mm-hmm. Dane just now started doing that. He's my partner at the studio, and he never did that. He used to write everything. Now he asks me to be here when he writes, because he needs he needs some thought process, right. You know, he needs some help. He needs to go down some darker avenues that he hasn't been going, and you can already see it changing his behavior when he writes songs, which is good. In your case, though, because you already have how many songs? How many, like, we don't know the exact amount. Have you produced 3 CDs, 1 CD, 10 CDs? Because, I mean...
Right. Believe it or not, I ain't got shit. This is my debut EP. I have songs that I've worked on in the past, but, you know, I mean, in the archives and shit. But in regards to, like, an actual music catalog, I ain't got shit. Okay. I'm just known for being myself.
But so that's good.
Yeah, I'm grateful for that.
That's a good thing, because I already heard what you have, and that's why you're here. So consider that for a minute.
Right.
So you don't have shit, but the thing I heard was already so good that I was like, please fucking come back and talk to me. I want to know more about you. Plus, again, remember the personality is so big. It's so huge to have that personality that draws people to you. But the reason why I was asking you that, because people have produced a bunch of music know you have your favorite song, and then people have their favorite song. And it's so funny because they're almost never the same.
Nope.
It's very rare. It's very rare that your favorite is someone else's favorite.
Absolutely.
Well, not it might be someone else's favorite, but you know,
it's like
no, everybody's like, this song's so good.
So
I don't really like that song that much.
That shit. Yep.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yep. There have been songs I've made that I absolutely am like disgusted with trash. My friends are like, bro, you keep that. But then of course vice versa, the ones that they love, I'm like, ew, like what were you thinking? So honestly, I just think it comes to the point where it's all about what your fans want, what the people that you're doing it for wants, because music heals. So you have a commitment and a dedication to them. The minute you start releasing your music and you start making those connections with your people, you know, that's your responsibility to make sure that you're keeping up on keeping them good, you know, because that's what it's about. Music is a service. I'm just a vessel.
Music is a service.
It is. I'm just a vessel.
That's cool as shit to think that way.
Yeah.
To think when you're about to put something down.
Yeah, and I don't...
This is useful to somebody. Like, it's not just I want to create something, I'm really bored.
Right.
It's like, I could potentially create something that will absolutely change someone's perception on the day. Someone just going through some shit and they're just like, boom.
Even if I just get one.
And that is
I'm
true.
Cool with that. I don't even care, bruh. And that goes back to what we were talking about out there. I don't give a shit about... I'm not trying to reach this, like... I'm not trying to be this, like... I don't do it because I'm like, oh, I want to be the fucking star. Of course, I know I'm a superstar. I'm going to be that because I move with love. But at the end of the day... It's like, even if one person likes my shit and I've changed their day, I'm accomplished. Like, you know, like, this shit is important. Like, especially right now at a time like this, it's important to perceive your message clearly, communicate effectively with someone, and make a genuine connection.
I told some people recently, I said, guys, shit changed with COVID.
Yeah.
Like, the kind of music that was kind of driving interest of some of these people that were like all about the you know, the just profitability shit. I got a ton of fucking money, do whatever I want, I'm the boss, I'm the best, I'm the player, bitches, hoes, dimes, all this shit, right? And I'm just like, okay, like I get it. That's that cliche you can make the clubs make. I was like, but people's minds are
Shit's
changing.
not cutting it no more.
Exactly, and people actually want to feel something because
People,
they're fucking
they're
trapped.
spending time inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they're trapped and they're depressed and shit's tough for a ton of people.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking in my head, like, it's okay to like try something new right now because this will be a perfect. I mean, you see everybody, a lot of people getting canceled.
Facts.
COVID has caused people to have enough.
Facts.
You fuck up, you're done. And it's because they're like, fuck, look at my life. Why should you have it better? You know, not that they want to bring people down, but they're saying, unless you walk in a proper line and doing something useful, I don't really want to give you my attention.
Right.
And I think that when I heard your song, Iris, that's how I felt. Now, keep in mind, we're not going to play it because it's her. So you haven't released it yet.
No.
Yeah,
no.
so we're not going to do that, but it'll come, and then you'll hear it, and you'll see what I mean. And that is something I've been looking for. Like, I look for the people that are making that because I'm like, see, they're in touch with shit.
Yeah.
That's the difference between being in touch with reality and just doing your own thing all the time because I feel like you got it. Right now is a great time to inspire people.
Yep.
That's an easy way to take a little leap up.
Yep.
You know, so good job on that.
Thank
because
you.
you did that out of your own decision. I don't think you were necessarily thinking about that.
I wasn't
That's just how you are as a
intentional.
person.
Right.
You're connected to the universe. You're spiritual. You're humanly in terms of making connections with people you like. You love that. I mean, that's really important.
It is.
And so she did DJ. She helped Perk that night.
Yeah.
She came to studio, and I had a great time. I got some great footage of you
Hella
guys.
technical difficulties.
I mean, that shit happens.
It was a great night, though. It was a great night.
night.
It was a great night. Even
A total
without it.
success.
Yeah.
People had a great time. Already asking when it's happening again.
And that's why I'm so grateful, forever grateful for Perp, because I met him when he first started. Like, when I first met Perp, and I think you were here for that story when him and I told you he was just DJing, like, just trying to get his name out there, like how I'm doing now. And for him to give me, like, because he's the one that gave me my first opportunity DJing out. And it wasn't at this event. It was, I forgot exactly what we did together, but it was at a house party. And we had our turntables connected, and it was at Mason's house, Mason Monroe, which he's another phenomenal artist in Tampa. You'll get to meet him one day. And we were just throwing a fucking badass house party, and it was fucking lit, and I had a great time, and I did a great job. And that was the moment that I realized, I'm like, okay, I can actually do this. And then he calls me again. He's like, yo, you want to come through? And I'm just like, and that was that night of the show, you know, and I met you, and it was great. And I was just grateful for that entire experience because it's possible, you know. DJing is my outlet when I do have my writer's block or I can't express myself through the words. I like to express myself through the music, you know.
You're
That's
still expressing through music,
yeah.
right? You're still sharing music. You're still making people move. You're generating energy, positive energy. So then my question with that is, when you do that, do you realize how that can benefit you? Do you realize how you met me and you're going to meet so many people by doing that? It's another avenue to get an opportunity.
Right.
You know how, like, we were talking about being exhausted?
Right.
I tell people, I'm like, dude, most of the time, life throws shit at you. When your heart starts racing and you feel nervous about it, when you start to feel like, should I go? What if it doesn't work? Like, definitely go. Your heart is racing.
That means
because there's an opportunity about to present itself. Like, I'm telling you, it's crazy how it works. But it's testing your ass to see, here, it's going to make you nervous, or it won't. But the point is, if it's an opportunity, take it.
Yeah.
It might go nowhere that night, and you just, one person's like, hey, what's your name? Can I have your phone number? And then it turns into something so
else.
big.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that you have to, for anyone that doesn't know that, take every opportunity. And it's not easy to do it, though. It's not easy because you get tired.
You do.
You get tired of people saying, well, let's do this, and then you go, and it was nothing. But not all the time. It's not always going to be nothing.
Right. And honestly, big or small, I go all the time. It doesn't matter to me because, again, I'm not doing it because I of course, it's good to get my name out there, and over time it will happen. But because I genuinely love to mix, and I want to see how I can get better by playing my shit out loud in front of live people. That's the best way to get real world experience. How else than to fucking, you know what I mean? Like, come through, and even when he asked me to come through for that night, I was like, oh my God, this is fucking crazy. It's a lot of fucking people. And then the good thing was, he was like, well, good news is, because, you know, I was turning around, he was like, well, good news is you can just face the wall. Yes. Social anxiety out the way. See?
She has that. Like, that's what people forget.
Yeah, I'm human.
We're still, right, we still have they're not flaws.
Yeah.
It's what makes us us. But we have those things that make situations harder.
Yep.
And so to just tell everyone always, It's why you kind of have to say it, because it's really easy for people to think, but I don't want to fail, I don't want to fail. Fucking everybody
If you
fails
do, you
and
do
fails and fails. And sooner or later, you actually get so used to the failure in a good way, because you're just like, whatever, I don't care if it works out, I'm going again. And the opportunity will always be there.
Exactly. And that's why I'm forever grateful for him, because, like, even when I was first starting out DJing, like, he would always tell me, I'm just like, bruh, I want to get good like you. And, like, he'll come up to me, he's like, bruh, you're fired. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, and it's just, it means a lot, because, again, it's almost like we grew up together. I mean, we didn't go to the same school or anything, but I knew Perp in the very beginning stages of, like, you know what I'm saying, his career, and then also mine, you know, and we're just, like, older now, and we're more mature and we're wiser, and I will just, like I said, always be forever grateful and forever loving of anything that's thrown my way. And that's why I feel like we all are all very close, you know, still. And
Perp is a good human being.
He's just a great person.
He's just a good person.
Right.
Genuine.
And that's it. And that's literally on period. So, like, it's like, what else can you do but talk good things about him, and what else can happen to him but success? Yeah. Initially, if you ask me.
And his hard work and perseverance will pay off. He travels constantly.
And he doesn't give a shit.
He
loves to, like, bruh. Like, even when all those things were happening with our technical difficulties, like, all right, fuck it, come on, let's do this. Yeah. Oh, all right, fuck it, come on, let's do this. You know what I mean?
I don't think anyone even realized, like, to be honest with you. Remember, I was like, I don't think anyone even knows.
Yeah, only us, because we're,
you
like,
guys know, right?
You know, but
yeah. Sure. So what's your Instagram?
Oh yes, so my Instagram is @_JSTRAY. It's just Ray, no you, and that's pretty much on Instagram and Twitter. I'm never really on there. So just Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
I'm working on that part now. I'm human. Like, I'm just like, I really focus on the music. So
I was gonna tell you, because a lot of times people get there, they're like, this is the most crucial thing. I'm like, actually, no. Stuff to bring it to there is the most crucial thing. It's just having an account with a picture. Like, you can have that.
Right.
But the mind frame you have, work on your craft. That's what actually brings people there.
Absolutely.
Because, like, anyone can just come across your shit and be like, this ain't top notch.
She looks like everybody. There's so many clones. This is not top notch. Right.
There's
so many clones. Like, everyone is trying to be a way instead of just themselves. And I wouldn't say everyone. I notice it often. So, but it is important, because I'm learning myself. Like, I've had to learn how to plan my rollouts. I've had to learn how to, and you know, when you're planning your rollout, you got to go through each week. Okay, what am I gonna? Even if you don't know what you're gonna post today, you know the content. You at least know what it is and when, and then the why and the how you can figure out as you go. But, you know, and shout out to Phenom too, because him and I, he's just like my partner in fucking crime.
That was the video you saw a little while ago. She was showing me her interview that he shot in the tall grass. It was absolutely beautiful. He did a great job. So that's
phenomenal.
At Phenom, right?
Yeah. It's at 9, and then I think it's 9H. Let me fucking see.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I get
just
that
back
right.
it. Yeah, just hit the back.
Oh, right here. Boom.
There it is.
So it's at 9HENOM. Phenom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there.
So that's the important thing too. Me and Ray were actually talking about that, how important it is to just share, like, everyone that wants to be a part of your stuff, because they're a part of it for a reason. Even if it's for monetary purposes, they still take the time. They can still be like, no, like, I'm too busy or this and that. But when you build these relationships, you always give credit where it's due, because people put in their time and energy into you, and that shit's crucial.
Right, and that's
the
thing.
Like,
I wrote Iris, but I had help. Like, actually, the day that I recorded in the studio, that day of, and for the most part, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't like I did this whole thing where I had, you know what I'm saying, like this whole group or nothing. It was just me and a few of the connections I made, B.O. and Chris, because, you know, my Huskanoonin, he was with me, and, you know, literally it was just like a line or two that I had got stumped on. And again, that's why you said it's important to build those connections and build that, because I've worked with B.O. in the past on music, so he knows my sound. It was like one little thing, boom. I needed help, he helped me, boom, out the water. Chris, he's like, oh, you should do this. Like, I did it, boom, out the water. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it started as this thing that I wrote, but what it ended to be was just through time of morphing, throwing shit out that didn't make sense, you know, and just looking at it for what it is, and okay, can we make it better than what it is now? Because it can always be better. But you also don't want to hold on to it forever either. Yeah. So it's important.
Yeah,
it's important.
Because you'll start finding too many things.
Realistically, right. When realistically, when you have something that you're like, okay, this is some good shit. Let's go. Let's move on, and let's make the next one better than that one before. that way you're ever growing.
You guys are going to love this track. I'm trying to tell you. Like I was lucky enough to get a little glimpse of that when they were in here before, and it was her and Perp just sitting right here doing it. And I'm telling you right now, fucking, it's top notch. Top notch. You guys will love it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you would like to say? Just, I mean, you know, whatever. Just anything. Advice. You know, shout out to anybody who's been there for you or did anything for you that you really think deserves to hear it. You already shouted out all your people.
Oh, shout out to George Bonecell at Bonecell. He is the reason that I'm like I am.
There you go.
Who I am.
You heard it, George.
And my sound. He's just an amazing vocal engineer.
Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
You found something else.
And just keep going. Don't stop. Follow your heart. All that corny shit. That's it.
That's the realest shit. That's why it's always said, though. It's just
all the corny shit.
It just seems too easy, so a lot of people don't do it. It can't be that easy. It's can actually, if you keep doing it, be that easy.
Very much so.
See ya.
Thank you for having me.